Okay, I'm done now. We gotta work on that.
Ow!
What?
Probably one of the
I
worst
thought it
things
was
in the world.
perfect.
What?
Perfectly in sync.
Thank you. It was like a second off for me. So like when I hit my note, I would hear Jacob's note, and it would just be like doot, 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 doot. It would just go back and forth. I was like, okay, here we go.
I think everyone thinks it's perfect.
I mean, it is us. We are pretty good at this. So episode 1, New Hope. No, so
why?
thank you. Hey, thank you to everybody who listened to the
Menace.
Yes. Wait,
Must we
first
do a
off,
prequel?
do not start with me on Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace is very underrated. Gave us the best villain in all of Star Wars that we got nothing of.
I like how we're not even like 45 seconds in and we're already talking about something that's not on like our list.
But
it is on there later.
Kind of.
I get it.
Kind of. So thank you to everybody who listened to the episode 0, the pilot episode we had. Appreciate it. We are here this week to talk about a lot of stuff, actually, not just one thing. We actually have a list of things we're going to go through. But real quick, how's everybody's week? What'd you guys do? Anybody do anything good?
This week's pretty stacked for me. For those of you watching the video version, which we are on YouTube, the Daily Kazoo podcast. I am in DC right now. Got a wedding, but I still wanted to be here and talk about these things with these two gentlemen. So, as you can see, travel doesn't stop us.
Jacob, you know what that means, right? Just
it means I have to do it during my wedding. Is that what you're saying?
No, that means the party they're throwing right now is pretty weak.
Wow, we came a couple days early. We made a whole thing out of it.
Sure.
But moving on, I saw a lot of cool stuff today. Just took a lot of touring and just hung out with my parents.
Actually, what was the one thing you did go to today?
We went to the African American History Museum, which was dope.
And how was that? That was pretty good.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. I really got to see the Lincoln Memorial too. Drive all around Pennsylvania Avenue. And get like a little tour guide type thing.
Lincoln Memorial's way bigger than you think it is, right? Like you get there and he's just like, it's giant.
I know this is off topic, but is the African American Museum, is that part of the Smithsonian?
It's its own thing. It's its own thing.
We went in 5th grade, but like obviously a bunch of kids from Florida, they're not going to take.
No clarification. It just opened like 2016.
Yeah, they built a huge building for this. It was a big thing they did. I do remember it.
I haven't heard anything about this. That's awesome. Okay,
cool. So I've been hearing about it, and I had a friend tell me like definitely go see it, and I've heard about it before, but yeah, I didn't realize that it was so recent. Like they broke ground in like 2013. I found all of this out today when I went there. So yeah, it was really cool.
All right, dope. Jacob, what'd you do today or this week? Anything good?
No, I haven't really left this chair that I'm sitting in. Mainly work, and because I work from home, and trying to finish up the Star Wars Lego Skywalker saga.
You got to play that multiverse game, right?
Oh yeah, I have gotten to play the alpha of the Multiverses game. One thing I will say is, I mean, it is Smash Brothers to a T.
Yeah,
they're gonna sell it as their own thing, but like just the way that you do things, like how you unlock characters, it's. I will say it's a mixture of Smash Brothers, like the gameplay and like fighting styles, and then the other thing they mix it with is Fortnite, because you have a battle pass and you can earn things as you level up and tier up. So like each character has like a different like emote that they can do whenever they win, which I think Smash Brothers has. And then it's really cool, but I'm excited to see what other characters they add in there, because Warner Brothers can add in quite a lot. I think people are underestimating. A lot of people DC
I mean,
tunes, like they can add in a lot.
Yeah.
can we all
I
agree?
mean-
As soon as they add Ugly Sonic, it's a wrap. Like,
They're gonna add in Ugly Sonic. They're gonna add in the Teen Titans, Ben 10. It's gonna get
Bro, if Ben 10 and if Teen Titans gets in there, I'm all in.
here you go.
Bro.
Here's a character I don't think any of you will remember, but what if they add Reboot? Do you remember that horrible 3D virtual like cartoon that was on right after Beast Wars?
This was in 1960.
Fuck you. Yeah, the last time your glasses were actually like fashionable. So
Spent 20 minutes complimenting him. Now he's like,
I did. I liked your glasses until you called me old. Then it's done.
No, I haven't seen Beast Wars or what was it?
Reboot. Beast Wars is fantastic. First off, which they're giving us kind of a. They're giving us some of that in the new Transformer like 11. Really, I feel like Transformers and Fast and Furious are having a dick measuring contest. Like, who can make the worst movies and the longest franchise? Also, did not think. You know what? Let's just get into the one thing of the Chip and Dale, right? Like, no spoilers, obviously, but who thought they were going to get Vin Diesel and then like have them with that? Like, it was just like, really.
Thought they were just gonna leave it at a poster.
They really did a lot with that movie. I mean, there was
some of us like it way more than others. Some of us gave it a 9 out of 10. The other ones are me.
So for those of you listening or watching, what are the topics we'll talk about today? What is it? Friday, May. What is it?
Today's the 20th.
20th. Yeah. Okay. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers Disney Original Plus movie came out today. We have all watched it. I enjoyed it, and there was a lot of, as he mentioned with speaking of Vin Diesel, lots of just references, cameos to other franchises.
It's literally like Space Jam, Ready Player One, and like any other Who Framed Roger Rabbit all had a baby and did this movie.
Yeah, I actually was gonna say a way I would describe it would be like, for me watching it, to see the mix of different types of cartoons along with the people reminded me of like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit 2.0, simply because it's more comedic, but then obviously Space Jam as well, but that one was very heavily Looney Tunes, so like it was the same kind of animation the whole time. So that's why I felt Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I meant like the LeBron Space Jam, not the other one.
Oh, see, I'd never finished that.
Nobody has. Let's be honest. I don't think Warner Brothers finished it.
I did. I kind of liked it. I didn't think it was great or good, but I was.
You probably gave it an 8.5 out of 10.
No, I gave it a 6.
That's generous. It is horrid.
So with that, like for me, I think we tried to watch it on like a family beach trip with my in-laws, and like the younger kids wanted to watch it, and then like ended up getting distracted, getting up, walking away, and it was just like, are we even watching?
The only thing worse than that movie Space Jams was the Lakers season this year. That's the only thing worse.
I just want everyone listening to know that means nothing to me because I don't keep up with basketball.
Let me help.
And,
they're abysmal with 3 all-stars on there.
Basketball.
I do. I'm a big sports person. It's horrible is the answer. Anyways, Alvin Chipmunks came out. It is pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie, for nostalgia.
Alvin.
Oh, did I? Alvin and the Chipmunks?
Oh my god.
He said Alvin and the Chipmunks.
I just bringing up the more relevant chipmunks. So Chip and Dale.
Wow. The disrespect.
I should have bought a Teddy Ruxpin.
Towards Megs.
I should have bought a Teddy Ruxpin. No. So Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers came out on Disney Plus today exclusively, like Jordan was saying. It is nostalgia vomit, but the best part of that movie is Ugly Sonic. Can we all agree?
I will say that was probably one of my top 3 moments.
Right? Like when they turned and it was just kind of like, wait, why do I remember this? And then it hits you like, oh, that was the original Sonic, and everybody hated it. And that's, the old.
they kept dogging on him too. Like there was 2 scenes where they
Bruh.
zoomed into
The
his
teeth.
Bruh, the teeth. First of all, in the spirit of the movie, but also with the mixture of mixing up names and everything, for what we were talking about, I did just remember that we're 10 minutes in, and none of us said hello. We're your hosts. I'm JPhrygian. Hey, guy up in the up to my left. What's your name?
Puddintain, ask me again and I'll tell you the same. No, I'm the official Megs. Sir, to my right, left, whatever. If everyone's listening, it's just, hey, other person. If you're looking, that guy.
Hello, I am third voice in your head. I go by KingVonSchweetz or Jacob.
Y'all are gonna hear us go back and forth, mixing up between usernames,
and then it's like,
names.
and then they're like, wait, is there a fourth voice? And you're like, all of a sudden, it's like,
I'm sure somebody's ears enjoyed that.
Oh, yeah.
But no, it really dawned on me. I looked, I was like, wow,
we're working on this. We're working on this.
We went right at, hey man,
We're working
what
on this.
happens. Y'all see this.
Oh wait, my week was great. My week was great. Thanks for asking. Anyways,
I just didn't care.
yeah, that's valid. It wasn't a lot. It really wasn't a lot.
Come on.
But yeah, back to Chip and Dale. Yeah, one of the greatest parts probably was Ugly Sonic. I would say, again, like I mentioned before, there was lots of references to different franchises. When they threw Ugly Sonic in there, which for those of you who, if you're just listening and you haven't seen the movie or you're interested but you want to hear more, they took the original design, if you guys remember, that was supposed to be for Sonic the Hedgehog movie, kind of looked like a bootleg Cat in the Hat, and he had teeth. They were very distinct for no reason.
It's very accurate.
They put him in the movie, so it's really dope to see studios do that, right? Like for one, Sonic had that huge improvement. They scrapped and were like, hey, we're gonna delay, we're gonna go redo CGI because of the fan reaction. And then to now come back and like play on the joke was that was another thing that I enjoyed about the movie. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers doesn't take itself too seriously. It definitely just makes memes out of different things. They include social media too because it's modern. It's really cool. It's really cool integration.
It is funny about like how, the way they do the cons, and it's always like your old actors that are old TV shows, and they're sitting there in the worst places to get like autographs. Like what's his name who played the Red Ranger, who's sitting in a prison cell like signing autographs right now. Sorry, did I bring that up? My bad.
I did see about that.
Boy, I had a whole Chris Brown moment. So yeah, I thought it was good. I thought the writing was decent. It allowed, that movie for me was nostalgia. That's the whole thing of that movie for me. If it didn't have that nostalgia, it was all right.
Yeah, I think for me, like it knew what it was, and that was just a wild ride. It wasn't a storytelling movie. Yep. Like it had a story to it, and like it's a story that's been told before, like like dirty cops and friendships reunited, but it knew what it was as far as it had predecessors like Space Jam 2, and then you also have Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is definitely what it was leaning more towards, because it was a mystery of like tunes are disappearing, or I can't even remember with Roger Rabbit. I think it was just certain tunes were dying.
Yeah.
No, well, they were disappearing, and then they found out that they were getting killed. Yep. They were getting melted.
But I mean, like, this movie knew what it was going for, and it knew what it was pulling from, and they had at least 2 or 3 references to Roger Rabbit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, straight through him in the movie.
Yeah, he was in there.
Roger Rabbit was in the movie, and then they had Dip, which was the name of the ooze that they would put the cartoons in. So I mean, like, yeah, like I said, they knew what they were doing. It wasn't, a story to, be told 20 years from now, but I do think Disney was sitting in a room like, all right, people don't care about Roger Rabbit anymore. How do we make a sequel to one of our most successful movies without having Roger Rabbit as the main character? And they were like, all right, let's think of detective characters that we have. And probably at the top of the board was Chip and Dale.
Right.
And they're like, all right, we're just going to make it Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, a detective movie. And then they went for it. I think it was great for what it was, but I don't think it's not a movie that I would ever put in my like top 30 movies of all time.
No.
Yeah, it's definitely a feel good comfort movie. Like it's comfort food. I've heard people use that term, but with like media and stuff too. Like it's kind of comfort food media. Like
it was a nice
you
palate cleanser with everything going on. Like it's just a lot of like Marvel.
Yeah,
like,
you have
nice
all these
palate
things that people
cleanser.
debate over. I mean, if you guys were listening to our last episode, obviously check it out. It's available right above this. But we talk about like some of the debating with like film nowadays and like Doctor Strange or Marvel, DC, different Oscar type films. So yeah, it definitely is a breath of fresh air, just like a feel good, not really anything to hugely debate about. Like we obviously hear a lot, it's one of those things where even when you hear term critics with this type of movie, it's just like, why?
Yeah.
Why do you worry about it?
I think it was a good reminder of like what, and I think Marvel has also done this recently of just what movie studios can actually bring to entertainment.
Yeah.
With Marvel, like with Endgame, you had, obviously the collection of a universe, a cinematic universe put into one movie. But then you have movies like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and No Way Home that brought in characters from other movies that were tied but weren't tied, if you know what I mean.
Right. It was like not their IP.
Right. So with this one, it was, like you said, it was similar to Space Jam or Ready Player One, but it had a lot more elements of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where they brought in characters from other studios that you would not normally expect, thinking, "Oh, I'm going to watch a Disney movie."
And Straw Hat brought that up. Straw Hat brought that up of like their legal team is sitting comfortably on a beach right now, going, "We did this," and drinking Mai Tais. Like it is
had to,
yeah.
Because also really funny moment from the movie that I absolutely loved. Because speaking of like the legal team and like to be able to name drop these things out of different studios, they literally say very non-specific brand of cola.
Yeah.
Because it was like, we're not paying to say a name brand of a soda.
Or Peter Pan sitting there and he's doing the insurance like gimmick, and she's like, "You're never gonna get away with this." He goes, "Yeah, I will. I'm gonna use the insurance jingle. I'll get away with it." And it's just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, they had like the moment where I think this is what you were referring to, where he goes, "You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it."
Yeah, it's the Men's Warehouse. That's what it was. Yep, Men's Warehouse.
He goes, "What, the Men's Warehouse reference? No, I'm definitely gonna get away with it."
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
it's like
doesn't care.
Yeah, it's literally like Von Schweetz said, like they knew what they were doing, and they like literally kind of semi, like not directly, but like broke fourth wall, like, yes, like we're absolutely doing this, we're getting away with it. Or the cliche betrayal. It was just like, it was the cliche betrayal all along. It's like, it's just cheesy, it's fun. I enjoyed it. Man, what was something
I'm
else?
literally going through the cast right now. It is a who's who of cast.
It's stacked.
Like it was stacked.
First of all,
I will say my favorite character was Keegan-Michael Key as
absolutely.
I just saw the frog coworker. Like, that was cool.
As soon as he started talking, I was like,
"But Zipper,
Keegan-Michael Key."
No, I was like you,
dying as a fan of the actual cartoon
of Dead. Of
just hearing Zipper goes the whole time, and then you finally hear his voice, and it's, "That's all, State Stand. Are you in good hands?"
I'm so glad.
Or Captain Putty was JK, and I was just like, Commissioner Gordon.
See,
like literally, and then they had Seth Rogen's bit, by the way. Friggin' perfect.
Oh my god, all of the Seth Rogen characters,
Pumbaa and Mantis, and you see Bob from Monsters vs. Aliens, and he's just like, it's too good. It's too good.
No, I legitimately, that was the other thing, because I was like, dude, that's Pumbaa. That's I don't even remember what some of the other ones were. I know it was the one-eyed alien.
That's from.
Bob.
I can't even.
Yeah, that's Bob from Monsters.
From Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
What did you give it?
Hilarious.
What did you rate the movie, Jordan?
I would. Let's see. I'd probably give it a 7. Like legitimately, just I sat and just enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. There were a lot of references. I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't have time to obviously rewatch it before this episode, but because I just watched it.
Yeah, not all of us have been up since 3:30 rewatching it piece by piece, frame by frame.
I have,
but no, because of the references. Like even at one point when they're showing like the screen of different art designs, or whatever, I was like, wait, I want to go back and watch that because I saw like a couple and I was like, ooh, this one, that one. I definitely think. Did I see a Deadpool design? Was I incorrect in that? Did anyone see that? That might not have been Deadpool.
It was like a superhero.
It looked superhero though.
It was a superhero non-referent, like non-specific reference.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So all right, so you gave it a 7, you said?
Yeah, I'd give it a 7.
Go 9 out of 10. What'd you give it?
I think actually after sitting on it for a little while, I still give it an 8 out of 10. And the only points that I'm docking there for are story. I think when a movie is, and this is going to sound kind of weird, but like there are movies that have that confident strut to them. They know what they are. They know what they're doing. They know what they're going for. And then there are movies that are like, oh, I hope people like this. This movie was one of those confident strut movies. It was just like, we don't expect to be a framed, good
example of good example in the same one. Free Guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Free Guy was like, we're not expecting to be some, fantastic movie that you're like, this is my favorite movie of all time. But we're going to throw in what we can, like the Fortnite references there and Captain America's shield. Like they were just having fun making a movie, and especially having Taika Waititi and Ryan Reynolds in those roles. Like they knew what they were doing. But movies that are confident like that, those movies just they get a boost up for me. And then movies that are also self-aware, where like Chippendale were like talking about he has those Polar Express eyes. Like they're talking about how terrible animation looked in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
But if you look at the actual movie, the animation in this movie was spot on.
Yeah.
Like CGI characters like Dale and some of the other ones, like it was fantastic. Like it matched whatever thing they were from. So Baloo looked like the Jungle Book Baloo.
And
Pumbaa looked like the Lion King Pumbaa. Like it wasn't like they made a new style for everyone. It was just they're what they're from and they live in this universe. And so I give it an 8 out of 10 just because they really were so confident in it and they went there. The only points I'm docking away though are for story, just because I think it could have been a little bit better written.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'm an 8.4 only because of rewatchability and story of it. Like I watched
points.
What's wrong with the point system?
I just want to know how you go about that. Like you just sitting in your chair like
you got
I will watch it and I'll watch it and I'll sit there and I'll go first numbers that come out of my head and it's 8.5 or 7.2 or it just whatever pops out of my head and I'm just like because you got to think about it. I do a point system only because there's only 10 numbers and like not everything's always going to be the same. I can't put 100 movies. It's 7. You know what I mean?
From now on,
I feel that.
From now on, JPhrygian and I are going to be at 0 out of 10, and you are going to be at 1 through 100. So you don't have to give points.
No, I'm doing points. That's always what I'm going to do. One watch. Everybody knows the rules.
See, I
was thinking you were doing.
I point like I'll be on a 0.5 if it's like I can't put it so low, but like it just doesn't quite get there for me. I will say I feel you on the extra boost for these type of movies because I mean I'm fairly certain I just gave this movie a higher rating than I've given some like very big movies that are probably better than it, but it's just like it's just these little feel-good movies they're a little different. And then we'll let Megs be a little different with how he scores. I see IGN do like 8.4 sometimes.
This movie was just like.
First of all, don't ever talk to me about ratings and IGN. They rated Wonder Woman 84 better than Wonder Woman.
We're not getting into this. What were you saying, Jacob?
I was just saying, like, it was direct to streaming just because it was a movie it was for fun.
They knew better. They knew better than the Shark movie. I was
sitting on my couch laughing my butt off with like South Park characters showing up and like just all this other stuff, and I'm like,
Stan's dad was the best. Like
there is no way this is happening on my TV screen right now, and I was just laughing the whole time.
Exactly.
So that's why I give it an 8 out of 10 because it deserves it.
Yeah. Now I will say one last thing. One of my points was knocked off for the cartoon versions of BBLs. He said I got a CGI surgery. You're not gonna tell me that it was Dale's whole thing was that he got CGI surgery.
Yeah.
It's plastic surgery for cartoons.
What is BBLs though?
Brazilian butt lift, which is just plastic surgery. So those of you who are listening and got the joke, rate the show 5 stars and comment that you got it.
Yeah. And if you got it in certain countries, there's some cement mix in yours. So anyways, the next thing we're gonna talk about is She-Hulk. We got a trailer finally. We got a full trailer for it finally. I see it on your face.
We're taking a complete turnaround with the show right now because we were just like, 8.4, 8, 9 out of 10, and now we're like, and we are also just like, oh yeah, and the animation was great, and like, man, the CGI was great, and now we're about to talk about She-Hulk.
Here's my thought.
Oh gosh,
I'm not worried about it.
I'm not worried about it.
Not worried about it. It gets cleaned up. It's fine. I think the CGI will be absolutely fine. And even if it's still kind of wonky, I think it's gonna be fine.
Here's what I'll say. I have multiple thoughts on. So the She-Hulk trailer, it came out. Excuse me. And showed us a little bit more of the show. We only previously got like a teaser with her dropping down and
very little, little in that teaser.
Yeah. And so the thing about it, because I do understand some people have been talking about how CGI is there's plenty of times CGI is unfinished. People who've seen early screeners and stuff, like, it'll be unfinished, but like they do touch up. What I'll say is I literally stopped the video where she was like looking at the phone.
You stopped it when she jumped down. Don't lie. Speaking of BBL.
No, it was her face. But anyway, it looks like PlayStation 3 graphics. I'm just saying. Now, I also get where you're talking about, where like I'm not really worried about it because like they will clean it up. But it is interesting how and obviously there are production issues these days, but even the like unfinished stuff makes it into the like fully released trailer. Like usually it's like studios are like, even if some stuff's not finished, only people who are seeing it earlier maybe might see that. Usually, like when they release like a trailer out to the public, like they fully scrape that thing. So
I think Marvel's getting a little too comfortable right now. Is my thing. I think that they're like, hey, we look at the Disney stuff together. Yeah. We need to get a trailer, and it's like, say they talked about it Tuesday last week, and they're like, hey, we really need to put that trailer out. We need to tell everyone we got a date and all this stuff and everything, and we need a trailer out. And they're like, oh, we're not at that point yet. And they're like, well, you're at that point now, because it's interesting that we're talking about graphics. Now, look, I had no problems with Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. I get the one scene they're talking about, but it is back-to-back things now they're talking about with CGI for Marvel projects, not even movies. It's Doctor Strange and now this. It's interesting.
Yeah, the other thing before, because I want to let VonSchweetz talk a little bit too about it. The other thing being, because you mentioned they seem a little comfortable, the Disney Plus shows have also had a little bit of a track record of not looking the greatest when it comes to their CGI. So it is a little concerning because like some scenes in the trailer, it looks like heavily bad CGI. The other, it kind of looks like she was just in costume and makeup. with like minimal CGI. So it's like there's even inconsistency with it. What you got to say, Jacob? I also pointed my head in the wrong direction. Y'all bear with me watching the video.
I think fans are freaking confused because, you know, you have shows and movies that have a smaller budget than what She-Hulk has, which I think She-Hulk has like a $2 million budget. And the CGI...
For the whole thing?
I think for the whole
per episode.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know.
That's crazy. It's just crazy to me. That was all.
In comparison, though, to some of the other like movies and things that we've seen, like I'm trying to think of like Attack of the Clones. Like whenever you saw Yoda on screen,
She-Hulk has a budget of $25 million.
Maybe it was.
I don't know what I was reading then. Anyway, but when you have things that like are Thanos and you have other characters in the MCU and even Doctor Strange, and I can name a couple of other Marvel films that I still like a lot, Marvel's CGI department has never been good. It's been good in some cases when they've like thought to themselves, this scene needs to be good. Like Doctor Strange scenes where he's traveling through the multiverse, those have to be good. Peter Parker fighting Mysterio, that has to be good. But scenes where, you know, Hulk is jumping with Black Widow in Age of Ultron, the thing looked terrible. When Peter 3 catches MJ from falling, it looked really bad. Like it just looked bad.
Dude,
it's not that they're like not doing a good job, but it is, and they're not focused on everything else when they're trying to focus on the more like special effects looking CGI rather than he's catching her from 30-foot fall. Like,
by the way, 25 million per episode.
Oh my God.
Say that
Maybe
again?
you heard
25. So right here, first thing when I typed it in, it goes, reminder that each episode of She-Hulk has a budget of $25 million.
Oh, okay. So I was right about 20 million, but it's per episode.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. I don't know what that looks like as far as production. Like I haven't been in production and I haven't financed production. I'm not a producer.
I actually can ask somebody about that. I will bring that next episode.
But like with something being me just being a very low middle class like citizen, something being $20 million shouldn't have fans going like, you know
when
it's like buying a Lamborghini but having manual windows, right? Like
it's also like we've seen, and this is no shade, but like we've seen them do better with much less. And especially when you think about how many projects we're getting, and we definitely always bolster and very much hype up like, oh my gosh, we're getting so much Marvel content. But then when you have these little things like this, you have to wonder, like, is some of the quantity pulling away from the quality? I mean, pulling away from the quality. Because you mentioned the Peter scene. I saw a video of somebody like re-edit that. They were like re-editing this how like I would have been taught to edit it to make it look more natural. And like, because I didn't even realize. I remember I thought it looked kind of fast, but then once I watched the movie more and once I started seeing comparisons, like you realize some of the stuff, it's very small details, but it can make it look very off. And when you see that happening from No Way Home to Multiverse of Madness to Moon Knight, like back to back to back, and now this was She-Hulk, you're seeing a pattern. So I feel what you're saying, where it's like, y'all got 25 million an episode. Like, how much is that going to? And that's where people got to be careful with cameos, I want to say. Because thing is, we always want to hear about what cameos. And speaking of She-Hulk, I know a lot of people have been talking about, we might see Jessica Jones, we might see Daredevil, but you got to
Matt Murdock is confirmed that he'll be in
okay, that's fully confirmed. Yeah, so that's the thing. 25 million does sound great, but it's like, okay, are y'all putting it into the important things? Because, bruh, like if you're gonna spend $1 million each episode just to bring in Charlie Cox every single one, like actually, I'm not gonna complain about Charlie Cox being in the show, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. It's just, there are fans who are paying attention to this, and even if it's small things, as they add up, like it can matter. Like the Moon Knight stuff, I didn't even think about the fact people were like, the creature was invisible for so long because like that way they didn't have to have the graphics.
It kind of feels like Marvel is like a mom who is just recently single, and she's kind of like forgetting, like, oh, I forgot to put the juice box in my kid's lunch today, and I forgot like that he has soccer this afternoon, and it feels like CGI is the juice box and is soccer. It's kind of like the last thing on their table after everything else is considered, and it may not seem that important to them in the grand scheme. But looking back 5 years from now, when She-Hulk and Moon Knight and White Vision and even Billy and Tommy are using their powers on screen, people are going to compare the heck out of the two things side by side and go, wow, look at Disney Plus's graphics compared to our graphics in a movie. And it doesn't have to be that way, especially when you're getting that much money per episode.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of these shows are freaking like ground-based Marvel, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Not a bunch of superpowers, like they are, but it's peak human superpowers. It's not shooting lasers superpowers. So a lot of it's just in a room, outside, like it's not in space. Like, so the fact that you can't make the CGI look good when you're given $25 million, again, I'm not a producer. It's kind of confusing, but it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and I didn't even think about the pattern until you brought it up, like with No Way Home, Doctor Strange, and Moon Knight. Yeah,
and I think trailer we got was okay. I mean, everyone's bitching about Hulk, and I'm actually, it's funny. I just did a video about it. I haven't posted yet, but I think everyone needs to remember, like, they need to chill out about Hulk and like what he looks like and what Hulk we're getting. They got to remember, it's not a married family right now. It's a divorced household that own Hulk, and it's two companies going back and forth of what Hulk they can have, and it's that fine line. That's why we've never gotten a solo Hulk project, is because the contract says he can never be the main character. That's why we got him in Ragnarok like that. Now there's a rumor going around that they're allowing one movie, so more than likely it'll be World War Hulk, is what everyone's saying. But even I agree with you, Jacob. But like now it's just like they have to understand they need this Professor Hulk to help set up that next wave of Avengers. But also, it's not maybe Marvel or Disney sitting there going, hey, this is the Hulk we're going to give you. It might be, what is it, Paramount that owns them? Universal. Might be Universal sitting there going, nah, you can't have Incredible Hulk. Like, you can't have that Hulk.
People got to remember there's real life behind this. Like, I remember the day that I really realized that, and it was like, oh, the reason we reboot Spider-Man is because of studio decisions, or the reason the Fantastic Four got a remake was reboot decision, or like company decisions. Like when you realize when your favorite character got killed off from a show or they got recast, it was because of like real life business stuff. Like, yeah, people got to remember that that's a thing.
It's actually funny you brought that up. It's one of my guilty pleasures is all the FBI shows on NBC. Yes, I know I'm old. Thank you. They are fantastic. But one of the FBI shows, the main character is the same actor who played Doom from the original Fantastic Four movies. And they just killed him off. And now there's all this Fantastic Four rumoring. And I'm like, oh, would it be funny if they brought him back for Doom? Because he wasn't a bad Doom.
I agree. I don't think he was.
Apparently somebody else disagrees.
I think there are better actors out there for Doom.
I agree.
I don't dislike him at all. I thought he was a good Doom.
I like the Killian fan vote right now for Doom.
Getting back to what we were saying with like with Hulk and people whining, I think Disney is being so strategic with how they treat Hulk and Spider-Man, and it's visible to us. Like, it's visible to us as far as a lot of people have said since Avengers, Hulk has been nerfed so bad. Like, Hulk is just like not Hulk from the comics. He's not even Hulk from like Eric Bana and like Edward Norton movies. Like, he's just kind of wimpy. And I 100% see that. And on top of that, you have Spider-Man with like things like if someone stays in another universe for too long in Doctor Strange, they cause an incursion. Well, now you have Vulture in Morbius's universe.
We talked about this a little bit last week. Yeah.
You have they're planting little seeds that don't make sense and are causing things to be worse off in Sony. So in my mind, what Disney is doing, and what Kevin Feige specifically is probably doing, is saying, how about we take Universal's Hulk and we take Sony's Spider-Man and we make them less valuable. So that way one day we can have them and we can make whatever we want out of them, and we can make them top tier Incredible Hulk, and we can make Spider-Man where all the storyline actually makes sense and you don't have two different universes back and forth.
Because it's funny, we got it's weird how they did Hulk, because we got a decent Hulk for Avengers, then we got a decent Hulk for Ultron, then we went to Infinity War and all that stuff, and it was Professor Hulk for Endgame. Then the very next thing we see him is Ragnarok.
Forgot about Ragnarok.
And Ragnarok was before that, yeah. But then we still got a good Hulk in Ragnarok, and then it went to Professor Hulk. So like now this Professor Hulk thing, which is interesting because like I think you and I were talking about this earlier, Jacob, was the Illuminati on 616 is him, Captain Marvel, all that stuff. Because we see Banner at the end of Shang-Chi, but then instantly now we have Professor Hulk. So where does this
sling?
Right, and then it's like, where do we? So why is he back to Professor Hulk?
It might have been like gamma treatments that ended up helping him heal his arm.
Correct. That's where I'm at. So I'm interested to see what they do with the She-Hulk story and where they're going with it. Because the other thing is, and I know somebody comic wise knows this, who created the villain that looks like is going to be in She-Hulk, sir? Victor Von Doom.
Victor Von Doom created Titania?
Yep.
I don't think I knew that.
Yep.
Ooh.
So another show with a
possible setup.
Victor Von Doom reference. Because in Moon Knight there was a Doom reference. Now we have a Doom reference.
Why were there Doom boxes in the back of a cupcake truck?
I don't think that was a Doom reference. I think that was completely accidental.
Sure. Mr. Marvel strategically puts things together, and they land these little seeds.
Maybe not the props department.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, the trailer, I did think it looked like a Doom reference, but then once we saw the show and it was a cupcake truck, I like tried to look and I was like, it doesn't even look the same. I don't know. They changed stuff between trailers and actuality, so I give up on really trying to know what's going on.
All right, so
now that I'm thinking about it, though, the cupcake truck would make sense because they were in like an Austria kind of country, so that would make sense with Latveria. But it doesn't make sense to me why it would be cupcakes. That it
could have just been a random.
Yeah, I guess it could have been flour or.
I mean, when you think about it, most actual billionaires and all that stuff have all types of like subsidiary companies and shell companies and stuff. So who knows? Victor Von Doom could just own a bunch of shit.
So to wrap it up, who's excited about She-Hulk?
Oh, I'm excited.
I'm pretty excited for it.
Same.
Yeah, I heard it's getting 9 episodes.
You could have the CGI be the worst.
What's up?
Sorry, you just like lagged for a second.
Yeah, you like legit cut.
Oh, my bad. Me?
Yeah,
you're fine.
Oh, I was just saying the CGI could be completely terrible, and I would be completely happy with the show.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I think I don't think it's gonna make a difference at the end of the day.
Yeah,
I'm excited about it too.
From Marvel movies is my ranking of the character and how much I like them prior to the show really does not change. So I will be shocked. I'll be shocked if at the end of this I'm like, She-Hulk's my top 10 like favorite character now. The CGI can be terrible, and She-Hulk will probably stay right where she is at like number 50 out of 1,000. Like nothing against her.
I don't know if I'm gonna go that low for it.
No, I'm not saying she's that low. I'm saying She-Hulk is number 50 out of all the superheroes in the universe for me.
I get you.
like throughout
I
comics.
think
and
I think
everything.
it pulls it up a little bit.
Hulk isn't even top 50, so
Okay, well that's fine, I guess.
I just don't like the I'm
Now-
strong.
Now you and I can just
I'm
walk away.
strong.
Now, Jordan, you and I can just walk away. Somebody, something happened this past week, right? About Stan Lee.
Oh well, true. Before that though, I was gonna say, I really think I forgot. It was about She-Hulk. I was basically to say, yeah, I'm still excited for it. Oh, and it's 9 episodes. It was when Jake kind of like lagged up a little bit. This one's 9 episodes, so it's a little longer. I think people might enjoy that more because I know that's one thing for me that WandaVision worked was being 9, and all of the
Gives
6
better
shows,
story.
Yeah, all the 6 episode shows feel too short. At least with 9, you feel like you got like an act 1 in the first 3, an act 2 in the second 3, and an act 3 in the next 3. But with 6, it's just off.
And
but
now
yes,
with Doctor Strange being over, now I feel like we're finally at the part of the MCU since Endgame where, well, I guess since Far From Home,
new ground.
Things are happening in the order that they were supposed to happen, and they're not rescheduled due to COVID. So hopefully everything will be a little bit more smooth as far as story, as far as CGI, as far as everything, because they've had the time to work on it. They knew when it was going to come out, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. So pedestal is all yours, sir. You want to talk about Stan Lee?
So if y'all haven't heard, Marvel is now, I want to say auctioning, but they're not. They're basically selling. They have sold not sold. They have been. The selling opportunities are open for
which is funny because that's how he stayed alive. That he got the comic book company to stay alive.
So he, back early 2000s, he sold the movie rights for Marvel characters, and in late 2000 teens, Stan passed away, and now Marvel is selling the rights for him as a person in video games, VR, theme parks, movies, TV shows, all media, basically.
I think it's in like it's between like Marvel and like some Stan Lee something.
It's
organization.
Probably like some foundation in his name.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, it's like a foundation in his name. It's between the two. Yeah.
But the issue that we're seeing online is everyone's up in arms of, oh, they're about to, CGI Carrie Fisher in episode 9 kind of thing, or in Rogue One, I guess that was, that people really hated. But with Stan Lee, who has passed, and it's not going to be tasteful because it's years after his death. It's not something he necessarily would have wanted. It's just, it's zombifying somebody who should be laid to rest. And
it's funny when you and I talked about this on the phone, I was like, it's going to be Stan Lee and Tupac doing a world tour, and doing the graphic.
From what I've heard is they're trying to do the same thing with, as far as Warner Brothers, just for one thing, but they're trying to do the same thing with Christopher Reeve.
Christopher Reeves, yeah.
And it's just like, there are things that can be done very, very well with it that will make fans feel
like if they have a memorial area in Avengers Park, and it's a glass cube with Stan in it, like the 3D rendering of him virtually, and then like him talking or like interacting kind of half-assed.
Like something that was like an actual speech, like something that was like an actual speech, like not like rendering him using voice bits from other things to make him a character in it.
There are
like
things that can make fans feel full-hearted after watching,
like the phone call,
make people feel completely disgusted. So like with CGIing Stan in, or having bits and pieces of audio chopped up in order to deliver some random cameo line, like that kind of stuff is not going to be good. But like, if you take the speech where he said, the world of Marvel is the world right outside your window. Look at that guy. He's your brother. Look at that girl. She's your sister. Like that quote would be perfect placed in some sort of memorial thing, in a theme park or in a movie or, in a video game even. The thing I immediately thought of when I saw this news was Miles Morales and the video game on PS4 and PS5, of how perfectly well that was done. Like it was just
shout out to Insomniac.
It was a statue. It said to Stan, and it even referenced like his character in the
Yeah.
game, which was like
in the game from the first one, because he was a pizza shop
Italian
owner.
shop guy. Like, it was done so well, and yes, they pulled from things in the back, but they could have just put the statue up there and just said Stan Lee, like kind of like what they did with Chadwick of just Bozeman Avenue in the same game. Like, there are things to do with it that are completely tasteful, and then there are things that can be misused with it and taken and crush people's hearts. I don't think that Disney or Marvel is going to allow that to happen, because they know they're smart about it, and they know the profit that they can make just on the name of Stan Lee. And if they water that down, if they water that name down, and if they water that podium that he is on down in people's minds, merchandise will no longer sell if it has his name on it. Movies can't have his name at the end of it, because people will be like, oh, who cares about that guy? He's just a joke. There are things in his life that he wasn't proud of and that fans were not proud of him doing. But overall, I think Disney and Marvel will take very special care with this. They're not going to be throwing it around. They're not going to be putting him in every Marvel movie as a random cameo. If they do, it'll be something like, as I've said in my TikTok, WandaVision with his birthday on a license plate, or a picture of him in the back of and like painted him in a mural of like Loki,
or a signature.
Or a signature, but
like a digital print of signature. Yeah,
I really don't believe they're going to just start whoring him out to whoever wants to have Stan Lee in a movie.
Yeah, I would say that if that were to happen, like, hopefully those of you listening, those of you watching, or other content creators like us who really don't want to see that happen, like, speak up and get that rectified. Because I perfectly agree with the birthday on the license plate, little subtle things that are meant to be an homage, even if it's, I mean, this one might be silly, but even if it's like on like a TV screen, someone's watching, like, I don't know, this would be in a Sony movie, but like watching Spider-Man 1, but it only shows like the scene where like Stan was in the movie or something like on the screen.
They could be watching Mallrats.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just like, again, just hopefully it's always in good taste. Same thing, like I said, shout out to Insomniac with that statue, or like, even if it is like direct about Stan Lee, like, it just be very subtle things that are like Easter egg homage for fans. But if I start seeing a digital Stan Lee, like, because things like the Hunger Games, I cannot remember the actor's name, but where he died midway through like filming, and so they CGI'd part of him. Okay, and I remember thinking that was weird even then, but to take someone who, he passed away a couple years ago now, and start, digitally throwing him in for fan service, like, it's just not a good look. So I definitely hope that it's something great and always tasteful. You have anything to say, Adam?
No, you guys nailed it right on the head. I talked a little bit about this separately with you guys off camera and off screen. It just needs to be tasteful. I don't care, honestly, if like Lionsgate like gets something of his. It just needs to be tasteful. If you want to pay respect to him, fine. But the second it's out of cuff or not done right, I want to make this very clear, and everybody can hear me. I'm coming after you, and I do not care.
I will find you.
Yes.
I will kill you.
Yeah, like, I understand. I don't care how many reports I get from TikTok and Instagram and them. There's gonna be some bullying, and I don't care.
Yeah, you just always gotta be respectful. Yeah,
I don't think we have any
a lot to a lot of people.
I don't think we have any need to worry until we have something to worry about.
Right, like, this is the it's almost
this
like
is just this is Loki and Sylvie killing Kang the Conqueror, or He Who Remains. Multiverse is just opened.
Yeah, we don't know what's gonna happen.
Yet. Nothing's going off.
We see the spider webs, but we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's all okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
and thank you for bringing that, because like I thought it was a really good thing to just go over because again, I wouldn't have even been aware had you not brought it.
Yeah. Hey, there's a company out there that's given us a witch, gave us a multiverse, gave us a Viking god, and they're the biggest, littlest company out there.
It's got to be Marvel.
No, it's A24. Watch your mouth. I know. I knew where you were going with
I
it.
knew where you were going. I just was like,
funny part is, I actually verbally said this earlier to Jordan, and I never even told you what I was doing. You knew exactly what I was talking about.
as soon as you said the multiverse, I was like, everything everywhere all at once.
Okay, can we, like, before I get into Men, because I saw Men from A24 today, can we agree Everything Everywhere all at Once is a better multiverse movie than Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness?
100%. I cried like a baby.
People said, yeah, I heard people called it. Someone made a joke that Doctor Strange gave the Kids Bop version.
That's
accurate.
Accurate.
It's very accurate. So I saw A24's new movie, Men. I liked it. I thought it was good. It does take I do. So it is a weird.
He's here with us, right?
Hey, anyone ever seen that movie Sausage Party? So there is, Jacob, what I tell you, you get to this part in the movie where it's like, oh, this is kind of sad. And then it just turns like just wild shit. So
as somebody who doesn't like scary movies, is this a movie that I
creepy? It's not jump fest. It's just cringy.
Did you ever see Sorry to Bother You?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, what? Say it again.
I was just telling Adam, compare it to another movie that's as creepy or like what it feels like. Because if you're about to say Midsommar, then I'm gonna leave.
No. So I'm just gonna say when he described it to me, because I have not seen the film. When he described some of it to me, as far as like it just like weird, it reminded me of Sorry to Bother You. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah, I would probably say that.
No.
It's a really funny film, and it's super laid back, silly. Lakeith Stanfield stars in it, and it's really funny. And then out of nowhere, there's just this underlying serious subplot.
I wish Jay Stoops was here. She'd probably eloquently put this. Here? But it's about a woman who's she served divorce papers to her husband. Husband doesn't want to get divorced. They argue. He punches her in the face. She kicks him out. He goes to the building above, or they're in apartments. So the
spoilers for anyone listening.
Yeah, spoilers. I mean, that's kind of in the thing.
Well, if it's the trailer, like
it's kind of in the trailer. I added the divorce part, but everyone understands it. Getting from the balcony above to the other to his balcony, apparently fell or like unalived himself, and then so now this is a little time after. She's taking a holiday because it takes place in England. She's in some English countryside, staying at this cottage, and this one actor plays these multiple actors in the movie. He plays different people in the movie, all the same face though. And then she's being stalked by this naked wild version of him, and then that person gives birth to one of the other people it's just this wild ride. I watched literally a man give birth to himself 6 times and then found out it was her husband's deity basically at the end. It is a wild ride.
I kind of want to watch it, but
it's just really good.
Weird.
But A24, right? Like
that's how these 24 movies are. You describe them and they sound like a fever dream, but then you watch them and you're like, oh wow, that's beautiful.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like looking what were the little glass things called? You would look through and it would change the
kaleidoscope.
Yeah, that's what kind of is. It's like trying to describe a kaleidoscope to somebody, and then they look at it and it's like, oh my god, this is gorgeous, but the way you described it is weird as shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But A24 just banger after banger after banger after banger and I feel like they don't get enough love.
I mean, they have a whole cult following. People know that they rule.
You can like pay to be a member apparently now.
Dude, that's sick. I think that's what speaking of, like you said, kind of like the cult following. I was telling Adam, because he was saying like the thing is like A24 puts out a movie and you don't hear a ton about it, but it does numbers, and it's like that's because they know their audience backs them, like their audience supports and backs them. And so, because everything everywhere all at once, didn't it have, I think I read like $22 million budget? Not 22 million. Or was it 22 million?
I think it was something like that. Go ahead. I'll look it up.
It was something lower, but then for it to hit the way that it did, to the point that it kind of broke through to broader audiences, I feel like, because I definitely think that you definitely have more people paying attention to A24 who maybe weren't before from that movie.
$25 million budget.
That's crazy, because that's how much She-Hulk. So actually, here, put that
one
in
episode of She-Hulk is expensive as Everything Everywhere All at Once's entire movie.
See, now he feels even. Now he's even more mad. He's like, nah, because I watched that movie and it was amazing. But yeah, continue about Men.
As soon as we get done with this, it's gonna be a race of who makes that video first, right? Like, hey, you all are complaining about the CGI and She-Hulk. Just remember, it's $25 million per episode, which is the entire budget for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I'm gonna film it while y'all are talking.
Jokes on him. He could post it first, and I'll stitch his video and then still just say the same thing.
You'll get more likes and comments than I will.
I'm just gonna use his face again. Yeah, I thought it was really good. I gave it God.
This is what we should start doing. How many kazoos out of 10?
Ooh,
how many kazoos?
Yeah, whole thing. Yeah.
Like I'm in between the 7/8s right now, because like it's really good.
What's your
I'm like at a 7.8 kazoos.
I knew you were gonna say 7.8 because you said 7 or 8, and I was like,
yeah, like I'm in there and I'm like 7.8. I did put myself in there. I really did. 7.8 kazoos.
The fact that he gave you a physical thing to rate it by kazoos and you still didn't use whole numbers.
So about 7 and 8.
Yeah, just for those of you listening, you can check out the video version to see.
Just cut the tip off.
The visuals that
Every tip. Speaking of, actually, I just started watching Sex Education. Why did nobody tell me this show is so good?
Dude, I heard it's so good, so I think I'm gonna watch it.
My fiance watched all of it, like didn't follow it.
So good.
I'm gonna watch it too.
And now watching it and knowing that he's playing the doctor makes me want to watch Doctor Who now.
That explains where a little bit more of the hype was coming from, because like people who were into Doctor Who were already
also
hyped.
the main actor right here. I'm pulling up everyone. IMDb.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna watch that. I don't know. We might, if y'all listening, we might be talking about that on a future episode. Just one or two of us, or all of us. I don't know. I know you say your fiance watched it. You can maybe just tell her, like, ask her, like, hey, just
Asa Butterfield. He actually has been in a couple things movie wise, which you guys remember. Do you remember Ender's Game?
Yeah.
So he's the main character in Ender's Game, main character in Hugo.
He was the front runner for Peter Parker for a long time.
I was gonna say he was before Tom Holland. People were asking about the guy from Ender's Game.
It was Asa Butterfield and Donald Glover. That was it. Like everybody else was out of the picture.
Can we talk? Well, we don't have to talk about, but just mention Donald Glover at one point was up to play the next Spider-Man, and then he still ended up in the Spider-Man movie.
Well, that's a whole podcast.
Yeah, that's all, because like he created a Spider-Man. He created a Spider-Man, and then played his uncle, who is what character?
All within the same decade. He played the character's uncle that he created.
Technically, he played Prowler.
Yep.
Like, imagine Donald Glover coming to be Prowler in the Miles Morales live action movie.
I hope he's doing well. I need to finish
Also,
Atlanta.
he needs to do the soundtrack for that. Look, if they let Kendrick do Black Panther twice now, can they just let Donald do the Miles one? I'm just it's only right. He made the character. Yeah, Men was good, and then next week, tons of shit. Tons of shit.
Yeah, next week there's a
I'm working
lot.
2 jobs with the amount of show and movies coming out.
Yo, I can't begin to tell you. First off, how many episodes is the first thing of Stranger Things? 7 or something like that?
I think they're releasing. I could be completely wrong, but they're releasing 6 or 7.
Because whoever, it's got to be 6. Because I know
I saw 7, 8, 9 were like
you're right.
conglomerates.
And then
7,
also
8, 9 are all like
and
an hour.
they only sent 4 episodes for screeners. So you can only watch 4 episodes for screeners right now.
5 and 6 is where shit hits.
Yeah, it's like Moon Knight, right? It's like 5 and 6 where shit happens, and it's like, no, really just 6.
Well, but see, at least with Stranger Things, it sounds like though 5 and 6 should hit the fan, and then you get
episode 10 is
7, 8,
2.5
9.
hours long. 2.5. It's a movie, and then after that,
I saw that.
whole other season.
Oh, that's right. Aren't they doing like a volume 1, volume 2 thing?
No, so like this, yeah, volume 1, volume 2, and the second part comes out in June, so we don't have long to wait. I think, right? June or July,
okay.
something like that. But no, there's a 5th season, and that's the end, which I love. Which I love.
Season 4 was the end.
No, season 5 is the end.
I thought it was season 4, but they were splitting it up into 2.
It is. Part 1 is what we're getting next week. Part
And
2 is
July
whatever the next one is, June or July, is the next 3 episodes.
Oh, it's not going to be
then,
weekly because this is Netflix. They don't always do weekly. I forgot.
No. And then
I was so confused.
That's why they're in the shitter.
And then next year, Jay Stoops talks about this all the time, and I say the same thing with them. Could you imagine if they did episodic instead of full?
This would go insane. The theories would go insane. The theory community carries the hype. Well, not always, but
Stranger Things didn't drop all their episodes at one time. My account would be a Marvel and Stranger Things theory account.
Yeah, but like think about it, like you're gonna sit there, watch it, and then what? Do a skit or something, like some kind of content after every episode? No, I'm gonna digest all of it and then tell you what I think is gonna happen in the next 3 episodes. Like, I'm not gonna sit there, watch one, do a video, watch a second one, do a video, watch a third. That's just, nobody cares.
I would disagree. I definitely, I think that Disney Plus, and then even there have been some things on Netflix and other streaming services where I've seen a lot of people say like the weekly releases is making a comeback.
No, I agree. I'm saying like now. That's why Netflix is losing. I'm saying is like
why they're
who's going to
losing,
sit there and do a watch, binge watch Bridgerton, right? And then do a skit or something after every single episode. Well, I don't care. I'm not watching 12 TikToks.
You're saying when everything is available.
When everything's available, I'm just going to watch it all.
Okay,
no, I don't care.
Same thing, my bad.
Yeah, I don't care.
Totally.
But we've got Stranger Things coming out next week. Obi-Wan, 2 episodes, which is only.
I'm sorry. I know you're trying to like list things, but I was thinking about that today. Holy crap! This has the potential to be the best Star Wars media out there. Like, I was thinking about it. Hear me out, because I was playing Lego Star Wars all day.
Curveball.
I cannot believe if I watch this show, and Ewan McGregor has already hinted at it. If Cal Kestis shows up in this show, and Ahsoka shows up in this show, I will lose my mind.
I think the Ahsoka is a bit of a stretch.
Why is it a stretch? Why is it a stretch?
I just don't.
They're alive.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you. Because look,
I think that she's been connected with Mandalorian. She's been connected with Boba Fett.
No,
they're pushing her more because a lot of people haven't seen Clone Wars and haven't seen Rebels. But now they've introduced the Grand Inquisitor in live action, so we know Rebels is now like people are going to go watch it now because they're going to be like, "Who's this guy with a helicopter blade?" People are going to have to go watch Clone Wars if they don't want to or not, to understand, because I am almost certain she has to be in this show. She has to be. Because otherwise, Obi-Wan is going to live his entire life after Order 66 thinking that she's dead. I don't think that's true.
I think I don't disagree with that. I would like to see Ezra in it.
Oh, 100%. I also think Ezra Miller could be in it. But if we see Ahsoka, then it's also very easily potential.
His name's not Ezra Miller, is it?
Why'd you say Ezra Miller?
I said Ezra Miller?
Yeah.
You did.
Oh, my bad. No, I meant to say, if we see Ahsoka, though, it's very possible that we will see Ezra Bridger, because Ezra and Ahsoka both left at the end of Rebels. Spoiler alert.
Let me assure you, if Ezra Miller is in this show, it's him yelling at the cantina.
It's a 0 out of 10 if he's in there.
Yeah. No kazoos.
I saw a TikTok recently that was like, I'm trying to pose a deal with God that he'll give us back Stanley and who else was it? Oh, Chadwick Boseman, if he takes Amber Heard and Ezra Miller. And I was like, God. He's not going to take them.
Also, I'm sorry, because I can't remember. Does Ezra go he, they, or just they, them? I don't remember.
Both, from what I've been yelled at.
I know that, like, sometimes it's like
Ezra does they them, apparently, but then other people have come out and been like, he does both.
I'm sorry if I
know what you meant, Ezra Bridger. We're doing a lot of Ezras right now.
I'm sorry if I was saying he, him, but whenever you said JPhrygian, whenever you said they, them, I was like, I watched all of Rebels. Did he went by they, them?
No.
I was like, Ezra Bridger?
I like how you said Ezra Miller, and then he was talking about Ezra Bridger, and both of you confused yourself.
Swapped.
Yeah.
Swapped. There's too many Ezras going
on. They, them, but prefers they, them from what I've heard.
Yes. So
I just wasn't sure, because I was saying I've been hearing both recently, and so I just want to check.
Whatever I get yelled at. I got yelled at about in my video, and that's fine. I don't mind if somebody goes by a different pronoun, then correct me. But then, like, after I correct myself, don't recorrect me saying no, they go by he, that, he, him, and I'm like, but like yesterday it was they, them. Like, okay, whatever.
This is why you don't always listen to comments, though.
No, like, it was not a 3 to 4 people saying it. Like, it was all of the comments.
150 comments.
Everyone.
Yeah.
All of the internet was against
and 120 of them were like, they, them, you idiot. So back to what we got next week. Obviously, Kenobi comes out next week. I'm obviously excited. Cannot wait. I will definitely be up for that one. I'm not going to lie. I hit my snooze this morning and said, screw it for Chipmunks. But I will be watching that. And Monday, I do the Q&A for IMAX with Top Gun. So I will be seeing Top Gun. I cannot wait because a friend of mine saw it already. Said he cried once and almost cried 3 other times. So I'm ecstatic. And then we also have Bob's Burger. And Julie,
Bob's Burger movie.
So obviously, we know Straw Hat. Love him to death. He's seen it, but he's never watched one episode of Bob's Burger and says it's great. And I'm just like, I probably watched maybe collectively 11 episodes ever. And I'm still excited because I like that humor. Thoughts?
True. I love.
You go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I think it's going to be just as successful as the Simpsons movie. Just because you're literally taking what's currently on TV, making a movie out of it. Same thing with the SpongeBob movie. Like, the voice actors are staying the same. There's not really like a casting debate. You know, it's not Mario starring Chris Pratt. It's just here's the show, but now it's a movie kind of thing. So I think it's going to be fantastic no matter what they do, because people love the Belcher family, and even if they've never seen them before, apparently the movie stands up and it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, and that's always the nicest kind of thing, where like there's a nice bridge where even if you aren't fully into the whole lore, like there's enough that a casual can enjoy it, but the diehard fans, I mean, you know, that's one of the big complaints, and there have been some like differences with that with Marvel before, or DC, right, where it's like there's too much actual like interconnected things that you have to understand, that like we don't ever have to worry about. But
like next week
to
when we talk about
casual-
Gotham Sirens or Gotham City from CW, and it's all their children.
no, because I've
I
never
think I'm gonna
watched
be sick
any
next
of
week.
that. No, but yeah, I haven't watched any of that. But yeah, the Bob's Burger movie though. I love the voice actor because he's also an Archer. Which actually I need to go and like watch season 9, and I'm sure 10 is out by now. But then but then the other thing, yeah, I think that like these animated movies just kind of like bring the show and put out a movie in theaters.
It's like Chip and
they
Dale, right?
just-
It's gonna make money. We all know
Yeah.
it's gonna do fine.
it's hits.
They're not sitting there going, "This will be a masterpiece." They're like, "No, it's gonna be Bob's Burger. We want to do a movie here."
It looks a little more high definition than like
Yeah.
on television.
I think it's gonna be
No.
great. I think I'm gonna enjoy the shit out of it. But then I'm seeing that Thursday, going to bed as soon as I get done with it, because at 3 a.m. till apparently 6 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm doing nothing but watching what how are you watching it? Are you watching Stranger Things first and then saving Kenobi? Or are you watching Kenobi and then watching Stranger Things?
Personally, I'm going to take a nap during the day.
Nope.
So that way I'm fully rested. And once it hits 3 a.m., if Netflix doesn't put Stranger Things out prior to 3 a.m., because I know that that's what time Disney Plus updates theirs as far as EST goes.
Mhm.
My priority choices are Obi-Wan, Stranger Things, and Bob's Burgers. Bob's Burgers would be above Stranger Things, but since it's a movie and it's in theaters, I'm probably going to be sitting on my couch watching Stranger Things.
Top Gun's fourth?
What's Top Gun? I'm just kidding. I'm not. I liked the first one. It was okay. I just am not a huge Top Gun fan. But from what I've seen from this one, it does look like it could be a Terminator 2 kind of situation where it's better than the original and makes you fall in love with it, even though the first one was like. So yeah. I'm very excited for this movie, and I will say that like I'm a little skeptical because I didn't really care for the first one, but based on just like what Tom Cruise has talked about with the stunts that they're pulling off and the storyline that has kind of been hinted at, I think it has the potential to be a fantastic film, regardless of the first one.
Yeah, I agree. I'm Kenobi, Top Gun, Stranger Things, Bob's Burger. And Kenobi and Top Gun are closer than I thought they would be.
You've been very excited about Top Gun. Like
I wasn't originally because I'm not a Tom Cruise fan. Like I don't care for him that much as a human. And it's just a him thing. It's just a that, you know, but like
he just exists.
Seeing what he's done for this movie and the levels of pushing himself to it and trying to get them to push themselves to it, and it's just crazy to me. And it's crazier to think like this movie is almost 40 years old and they're doing a sequel now, and he's still doing this stuff. Watch your mouth.
Sorry, but when you say a movie is almost
born, shut up.
But when you say, okay, but we're not talking about you. We're talking about the fact that he was old enough to be in the movie.
But if the movie's a year after I'm born and you're saying it's old.
No.
Yeah, there you go.
Not the movie.
Play us out.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise. He was a grown man at that time, and he's doing this again 40 years later. That's insane. But like, again, shout out to him because like all them stunts, doing all them licenses you have at your big old age, knowing you got enough money that you don't need to do it. More power to you.
Yeah. So where are you on that one? For
all right. Well, this is gonna be a very fun one to get to for the audience.
Let's make this clear. If Kenobi's not number one, you're not back next week.
Okay. I know Jordan doesn't like Star Wars as much as us.
Yeah, I do.
No, it's not even that. It's not even that. The Star Wars is not the problem. Kenobi is number one. I gotta watch all the rest of Stranger Things if I want to watch Stranger Things season 4.
ain't
y'all.
shit. You've never watched one Stranger Things?
I expose myself. I have other friends who will not be named who they had, posts and stuff. We talked and I was like, hey, bro, me too. Like, that's why I don't post anything about it, because I've been meaning to watch it for a long time, but I never have. I was supposed to watch it, but then, other content kept dropping. We kept getting Marvel shows and,
but it's only an hour. And it's one
the
thing.
whole.
Let me ask you a question though. What are you doing this next week?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What am I doing next week? I have
days.
work. I have work.
Okay. What do you do when you're not working?
Yeah.
I also have to watch more Star Wars because I was already catching up on Star Wars.
He's doing floating in the air videos is what he's doing.
All right. Well, if you're catching up on Star Wars, then I don't blame you because
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like,
you can't do both.
I want to shut up. No, but seriously, I have heard a lot of good things about Stranger Things. I think Stranger Things was in an era where I just because my little brother-in-law, obviously before he was my brother-in-law, he talked about it a lot, and I always meant to watch it, but never got to it. But I do want to see Stranger Things. I want to be able to talk about it with my friends and everyone listening to the podcast. Rate it 5 stars, and I will put a leg on it for watching Stranger.
Yeah, apparently,
you just got to catch up before July, so that way you can talk about it with.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to be like, you guys.
The references are great.
Yeah.
Because I've also seen a lot of people talk about how the actors grew up on the show. I remember when they first showed the picture of some of them as teenagers, and people were like, they've been on the show for years, me seeing them older was the first time that I ever saw them, and I remember wanting to watch it back then, and I just never got around to it. But Stranger Things is there, but it's on the back burner. So Kenobi is first. What else did we say?
Kenobi, Bob's Burger, all that stuff.
Kenobi, I guess Bob's Burgers is next. And then Stranger Things will happen eventually. Oh, and Top Gun, I mean, y'all, I'll see it eventually.
There's a rumor out there that Top Gun could be the second biggest movie this summer, beating Thor.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
Wait, what'd you say? Jacob, what'd you say?
Oh, I said biggest doesn't always mean best.
Wow. Okay, and on that one, we're gonna end the show.
How's it gonna be the biggest one of the summer? Summer technically don't start until June 21st. June 21st. Wow, my tongue betrayed me. Sorry.
And it's only 3 months long. So I mean, if you're like biggest movie of the summer, that's not really that nice of a title, to be honest.
It's like everything being like number one movie in America.
Oh, it's like Morbius
was number one movie.
Did you see Morbius today on Twitter? That was like
number one movie on Apple TV. It was like nobody cares.
I mean, what else? Again, I hear Apple TV's doing their thing, but what else is on Apple TV like that? Apple TV is just really getting started in the streaming game, just now getting heavy hitters.
It's not an Apple movie. It's just number one rented.
I'm about to tweet about it right now and be like, wow, I didn't know Morbius was the only movie on Apple TV.
How bored Hey, Apple, step your game up if Morbius is number one on your shit.
No, but this was dope. Lots of good things. Excited for next week.
Yeah, next week, tons of content. Obviously, Friday. By the time we're ready, Jacob and I would have taken 4 naps, and
my sleep schedule is gonna be gone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Absolutely.
So
you really said you were gonna take a nap and stay up.
Well, I
gotta work during the week now.
I do too. So all right. Well,
this comes out on Friday though.
Yeah.
Actually. Okay. See, that's the thing that messed me up with the Marvel shows. I wish they would go back to being Fridays because then it'd be easier. But yeah, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, no, it's just their thing. So
do we wanna reveal what our Kazoo was at the beginning of this, since we didn't really explain that to anyone?
So we just did a Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers Kazoo in, and so every week we were gonna do a Kazoo in of whatever the big topic is that we're gonna talk about, kind of. So Rescue Rangers was a big movie this week. Next week, obviously.
Gun.
What?
I thought you were about to start playing something from Top Gun.
He knows it off the top.
Anyways,
off the top. But yeah, when we do that, you guys, we'll probably talk about it later in the episode, like we did today. It may not necessarily be our first topic or our last. It might be something in the middle, but something for you guys. You hear the jingle, comment before the video or the podcast that you're listening to is done. Comment what you guessed it was, and then I don't know, comment again if you got
share
it right.
with friends.
Talk
Share
about
with
it.
friends. And then we are going to start a segment at the end of the show. Every show we're going to do is we're going to play a little clip of a movie, and you have to guess what the movie is.
Yep.
We're going to start that next week because
I guess that's going to be more of a visual thing. So
no, because there's an audio. It'll be an audio.
Oh, true.
Video audio.
Well,
It's either.
Most of the time, people see the clip. You hear a clip. I'm definitely.
Oh no,
not
it's going to be
guessing it.
obscure as hell. I can promise you.
Well, he's going to be setting that up, and watch me not be able to guess it either.
And I'm going to be like,
it's going to be from Top Gun. Let's be honest.
It's going to be from Forrest Gump, where the bench doesn't exist anymore. All right. Well, everybody have a great weekend. I will see you guys on Friday. Obviously exhausted, of tons of Celsius in me. So here we go.
Thank everybody
last
for
words?
listening. Everybody watching. Thanks everybody for listening. What are you playing? Wait, what?
He's
Go.
playing John Cena.
Like,
Oh my gosh. But yeah.
And his name is John Cena.
Thanks everybody for listening, everybody watching. If you want to check out the video version, youtube.com and look up the Daily Kazoo podcast. The URL is that weird character linked stuff, so just search us. But yeah, overall, this is dope. I don't remember when this is going to be put out, but
Tomorrow.
we'll be back again.
No, it'll be put out Sunday night. It'll be available Monday.
Biggity bet. And then we'll be back again next Monday.
Next Monday
for another episode to talk about all the stuff that dropped on Friday. So
literally day of. All right. Bye, everybody.